About time. I'm glad you came. I was starting to think I was in the wrong place.
Greetings. What's going on?
What do you mean, what? I'm waiting for you. I have news from you know who. I've done everything just as we discussed. Tell his lordship we'll get things started the day after tomorrow.
What things?
Riddle sent you, didn't he?
No. Who's Riddle?
Ah, never mind then. God be with you.
Oh, I'm so hungry I could eat a horse.
I'm thinking of packing it in.
Packing what in?
This. Robbing people.
Are you out of your mind? What else are you going to do? Toil in the fields?
Dunno. Maybe I'll go back to the smithy. Either way, this is my last job.
If you say so.
Damn it, I thought something was going on here. Look at me, over here like a fool. Hey, good man! I need to speak with you. Hey!
What are you doing hanging around here, old man? Are you alright?
Not entirely. I'm Sir Jezhek of Holohlavy.
And I'm Henry.
Well, Henry, I'm terribly sorry, but this is an ambush.
What?
Please don't make it harder for me than it already is, and surrender nicely. I don't want to hurt you.
But I have no wish to fight you.
So you're yielding without a fight?
I don't want to have you on my conscience. I mean, just look at yourself. You've got one foot in the grave.
I assure you there's still plenty of life left in these old bones. And now, defend yourself at least. You're a dead man! Mercy, leave me be!
Alright, I'll spare you. But I want to know what the fuck is the meaning of all this.
I'll explain it all to you. I was just after your coin. I really need it.
And does that give you the right to steal?
No, I realise that. I'd rather the ground swallowed me up for shame. To take to robbing in the twilight of my life. And then to fail at it.
That's true. This ambush of yours wasn't much of a success. What you were shouting at me sounded more like rather rude begging for alms.
And what was I supposed to say?
How should I know? You shouldn't be robbing in the first place.
But I need money.
Well, why not get it honourably? You're a knight. Can't you go and fight somewhere or find someone to protect?
I'd have to get my horse and armour back first. Without them, I'm useless as a knight.
Someone stole your horse and gear? How?
It's a long story.
No matter. I have time enough.
I made my living through honourable service. Most recently as a mercenary in King Sigismund's service.
How could you fight for Sigismund? After all that foreign dog did here?
Petsunia non olet, my friend. You know the saying, money doesn't stink, at least up to a certain point. Our unit was tasked with requisition supplies in Betshwar. That's a village not far from here. Zavish of Garbov, my commander, said the people were starting to cheat the army on supplies. So we were to reweigh and recount everything. And he was right. They were slipping sand into the flour sacks. And they were playing dumb about it. Zavish lost it. And the requisitioning turned into plundering.
I get that soldiers have to eat too, but that's disgusting.
You're absolutely right. Besides, if they gave us as much as they were ordered to, they'd barely survive. I went to Zavish to stop it. What's chivalrous about plundering and killing innocents? In the end, I challenged him to a duel. We wagered our honor, our armor, and our horses.
And you lost it all.
And with it, my place in the army.
Why did you wager everything in the first place? Is it some kind of knightly tradition?
Not always. It's a gesture to show that you really will defend your point of view at all costs.
It was noble of you to stand up for the common folk.
Perhaps. But you see the result. No good deed goes unpunished. Now, I'm trying to get enough coin to get my things back. And you seemed like a skilled fighter. That's why I chose you. If I must do something so despicable as robbing people, then at least they should be capable of defending themselves.
What if I tried to help you? I'll go to your commander and try to convince him to give it all back.
You'd do that for me?
Well, I offered, didn't I? So, where can I find this man?
In Sigismund's camp. His name is Zavish of Garbov. He has a black eagle and 3 yellow stones on his coat of arms. He's got a rather inconspicuous tent above the camp kitchen. Hopefully you'll find it.
And how will I recognize your things? Is your coat of arms on them?
Of course, on my cuirass and on the caparison of my horse Gringolet. It's the same as I have on my shield here. A black raven with a ring in its beak on a yellow ground. If you get my things back from Zavish, come and see me in the tavern in Pshitok. They let me sleep in the hay there.
I feel quite hungry. Tell me something about yourself. Where are you from?
Holohlavy. It's a village near Hradec. My family's been there for 4 generations.
I've never been there.
It doesn't matter. I haven't set foot there for a good 40 years.
That long? How come?
I'd rather not get into it.
Look, everyone's been through something they'd rather not talk about. I'm not going to judge you.
You wouldn't understand anyway.
Well, now I'm really in the mood to help you.
Sorry, Actually, it's stupid. I had a disagreement with my brother.
And? That's it?
See? You don't understand. Otmar is older, so when my father died, he took over the running of the fortress and the village.
Older than you? My word. Sorry. So, you argued about the inheritance?
No, I was just a boy then, and I wasn't much interested in such things. Otmar wanted me to be chaplain of the church in Holohlavy. But that wouldn't have been the life for me. Ever since I heard the stories of King Arthur as a child, I knew I'd be a knight.
You are one now, though, aren't you?
I don't mean by title. I'm talking about battles and tournaments and romance. Anyway, I soon abandoned my studies and began getting summer with a sword in my hand.
I completely understand you. Your brother shouldn't have forced you into something you didn't want.
You really don't know how it works in noble families, do you? Otmar needed to secure his position because the church owns a lot of land in Holohlavy. He didn't care about me at all. But no matter, I'm happier like this anyway. Or at least I used to be. Otmar gave me the armor and the horse. Would you believe it?
Really? Why would he do that?
After I ran away, I struggled, and rarely had 2 groschen to rub together. Otmar found out about it and tracked me down. I was afraid that he would drag me home and force me to go back to my studies, but instead, he gave me armor and his best horse and told me to go and be a knight if I must, but not to return home.
And don't you ever miss your brother?
After all these years, more and more, who knows if he's even still alive?
Don't worry. You'll get your things back.
Thank you.
I'm sure you'll see your brother again. I'm
Are
feeling
you
a bit
right in the
peckish.
head? Sod off with that weapon. You were beginning to make me nervous. Sacra. I need a bandage quick.
Tell me, how the fuck is this possible?
I could use a few groschen. Do you know of any work around here?
What? Don't bother me. I got other things on my mind right now. Wait a mo. I know you. We've met before.
Well, it's possible. I've met a lot of people.
I know. You helped our Carol out, remember? You carried some sacks together to our camp.
Oh, yeah. You're with that fellow with the arrow in his head, right?
Exactly.
Ah, how could I forget? It's not every day you meet a fellow with a wooden shaft sticking out of his head.
So we'll have to have a drink to his memory together.
Well, something happened to him.
Aye. Our dear Carol passed away.
Oh? What happened?
Well, everything went to shit. Everything that could have gone wrong, went wrong. We wanted to rob a convoy. A bit of gold, a lot of booze, and 3 guards at most. Only there were a lot more of them fuckers.
Shit.
It was a bloodbath. I don't even know how we managed to escape, but Carol got left behind. They picked him up and took him away. It's all fucked.
Well, if they picked him up, he doesn't have to be dead. Maybe he's locked up somewhere.
If only. But that's not what happened. They strung him up. There was nothing to be done. We fell right into their trap, like lambs to the slaughter.
Didn't he say the arrow protected him? That it made him unbeatable?
But he was!
Then how come they got him?
I don't fucking know. I don't know how this miraculous shit works. Carol just said it made him unbeatable. And now this. Fuck. So I don't know. I don't know.
Fuck. What are you gonna do now? Without a leader?
Well, I'm the leader now, but it doesn't matter. Because as soon as we show up anywhere, we're dead.
Are they looking for you?
There's a price on our heads. But more importantly, without the power of Carol's arrow, we're lost.
Maybe you'll be fine even without the arrow. Carol was a good man, but maybe the arrow wasn't magic. It could have all just been a coincidence.
You're dead wrong. Before the arrow, we were just a bunch of hopeless wretches, and Carol was the biggest one of all.
What? How come?
The fool couldn't fight. He was useless with a sword, and every skirmish left him with a wound. Once, he was running through the forest, and he got impaled on a tree branch! Would you believe it? Even a tree could beat the fella. But then the miracle hit him. Once, he told me that when he was out of it that time, he heard some saint speak to him. It completely changed him.
Ah, that's an interesting story. And what does it imply?
Look, you're looking for a job, and we need that arrow. How about you help us? I'll pay you handsomely.
What do you have in mind?
Well, I need someone to find Carol's body. And to get, well, to pull that arrow out of him.
Are you shitting me? You want me to yank it out of his skull?
Oh, I know, it sounds nasty. But Carol would agree to it. I'm sure he wouldn't want us to end up dead. He'd happily give us the arrow.
That's a job for someone with an iron stomach.
It's nothing too complicated. Find Carol's body and pull out the arrow. That's it. So then, will you help us?
Why is this all sticky?
This is just about the oddest thing anyone's ever asked me to do. And I've had some odd requests, but... all right, I'll help you. Where should I look for him?
Well, that's the problem. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, we're off to a great start.
Hold your horses.
Coming right
I've got a bit of a lead. Our whole plan with the caravan went to shit near Sedlets. They've got a cemetery there, and I heard there was a bit of a commotion about the last execution. The local gravedigger lives near the cemetery. I'm sure he'll know something. That's about all I know. We can't go round asking questions. That'll cost us our necks.
Well, I'll see what I can do.
If you manage to get the arrow, bring it here.
It's filthy again. Damn it.
Greetings to you.
Hey, innkeeper. That beer.
It'd be good to know what the weather will be like.
Nobody knows that, except old Weathercock.
Why do they call you the Dry Devil, anyway?
Why do they call you fuckhead?
But they don't call...
All right, I was only joking. I don't even know how I got the nickname. I suppose it could have something to do with all the killing and my natural beauty. It's certainly catchier than His Grace Sir Hinnek the First of Kunstad and Yashpitz. That name wouldn't scare a fucking coward. But say it Dry Devil, and everybody just shits themselves.
How do you know Kubienka?
He saved my arse back at Neuhaus. We only made it out thanks to him. I thought we were fucked. Then Kubienka appeared, dragging a ladder, asking how much we would pay for it.
What did he get for it?
First thing he got was a good fucking beating, because we thought he'd been dead for 2 days. But after we escaped, we made sure he didn't have to pay for drinks for a long time.
How long have you known Jezhek?
It's been a while. He served with me during the Moravian Margrave Wars.
So you were his commander? Sir.
That's water under the bridge now. I'm just an old wanted robber baron whose neck you and Jezhek just saved. I don't give a shit about it, sons. You see?
Ah. All right then. What can you tell me about Jezhek?
Based on what you two have been through, I'd say you should know him pretty well by now. When everything is fucked, people around you are dying and you're fighting for your very life. Only then can you really learn what a person is like.
You said you were going to tell me more about the Devil's former band.
Has the lost Liechtenstein surfaced yet?
Well, not yet. I'm working on it.
Why do you care about the Devil's Pack, then?
Well, maybe I'll run into them somewhere. It wouldn't be a bad idea to know a bit about them.
Anyway, only a few fellas out of the whole glorious pack survived the shitstorm, and it's not certain they are still alive. As far as I know, Matthew Bahuta, Raniak, Janos, and Eder survive. I only know where to find Bahuta. And maybe Matthew. But who knows?
Tell me about Bahuta first. Who is he, anyway?
Well, Bahuta, he was always in trouble. Angry as a dog and covered in bruises. He and his brother could drink all the beer in the end. Just the two of them. Then they would make a terrible ruckus.
It sounds like you three would get along well. But you said his brother was dead.
Yes, he died right before Bahuta's eyes. Not pretty. Bahuta has been acting weird ever since. He dropped everything overnight and turned to prayer. As if he was scared of being next in line.
Where can I find Bahuta?
At the rectory in Grunt. He helps out with the church.
Did you ever see him again after they caught the devil?
Yeah. But there was no reasoning with him.
Do you think it'll be different now?
Look, I don't know. Maybe when he hears the devil's back, he will come to his senses. But I doubt it.
I'll go over there and try to talk him into it. There's no harm in trying.
But be careful. Bahuta was never far from giving someone a beating. Maybe he's still got that in him. It was Slavic who kept him from ending up on the gallows because of a fight. Oh, but he's already with the Lord.
Now tell me something about this Matthew fella. Someone with a name like that surely can't be all bad.
The name may be pretty, but he's as ugly as sin. You better not stare at him too much. It is not good for your stomach. He's also a damn willy bastard. People say he likes to rob on trade routes, telling his victims he's collecting tax for the king.
And where do I find him?
I hear there's someone robbing merchants on the roads near Miskovitz. That would be fitting for him. Maybe the bailiff can tell you more. It's practically happening in his yard.
If he's so crooked, why did you take him into your band in the first place?
Nasty characters are more suited to our line of work. It is much harder to convince good people to do bad things.
I'm not afraid of dirty work. Sometimes there's just no other option.
Hear, hear. If it bothers you, there's no place for you with the devil.
What about the rest of the band? You mentioned more than one person.
Of course. That leaves Janos, Hare, and Raniak. I don't know where they are, but I can tell you about them.
Who is this Hare? What kind of nickname is that, anyway?
Oh, that's easy. He's called Hare because he can't keep his snake in his breeches. He's Polish. He does not speak our tongue, so only Janos can speak to him, really. But otherwise, he's a fucking hilarious. And when shit gets tough, he can really handle it.
Do you know where he could be?
I have no idea. But if you find Janos, Hare will be nearby. The two of them are practically inseparable.
How am I supposed to communicate with Hare? I don't speak a word of Polish.
Yes, you do. We all say kurwa. You must use your hands and feet for the rest. I always manage, and so will you.
Tell me more about this Raniak.
Raniak has a great aim. Slightly better than me, even. Oh, and that bow of his, I tell ya, is a masterpiece. That is how you will know it is him.
How did he get that bow?
How do you think? He won it playing dice. But that was the first and last time he ever won anything. If anyone is really unlucky, it is him. But he would not stop if you were to cut off his hands.
Do you have any idea how I could find him?
Oh, I don't know anything about him. Try asking around at inns where they play dice. It is possible he lost his hose in one of them.
Did you ever see him again after the devil was captured?
Oh, just once. He wanted me to lend him money. He did not have any to bet with. But I was skinned and looking for a way to get the devil out of jail. Either way, I told him to fuck off, and he listened to me.
Tell me about this Janos.
Janos? He's from Hungary. He speaks like a Tatar, but at least you can understand him a little, unlike Ada.
And how did he get here? Did he defect from Sigismund?
Not at all. He did something back home, had the gallows waiting for him, so he fled to Moravia. He was having the time of his life until recently. Wine, women, and song. But now he has problems because people take him for a human. But if you knew how he can cook, give him a dead rat and half a carrot, and he will cook you a 3-course dinner.
How can I recognize this Janos?
Like I said, he looks a bit like a human. He speaks almost like we do, but in a queer way. Where you talk to him, you will definitely notice it.
I'm already liking this Janos. I think we'll get along well.
Janos? Why?
I like good food too. Life is always better with a full stomach.
You two will surely get along then. Janos has seen a lot of the world, tasted everything. If you let him, he will talk about it all day long.
Thanks. I'll go and look for them.
They may sound like a bunch of morons as I tell it, but they will be damn useful to us. Good luck!
Your hand cannons have done us more harm than good.
But we shot that mare beautifully. The devil himself couldn't have aimed any better, and he's skilled with hand cannons.
How long have you been a warrior?
I was supposed to be a carpenter, but the job wasn't for me. Most of the time I couldn't even hit the chisel with my mallet. Then I lost my master's money playing dice, so I had to run away. Then I came across a group of mercenaries, and they hired me. Once I got a taste of money, I chose to stay. So, it's been a while now.
Who taught you how to fight?
No one. I was absolutely awful. But I could drink their command under the table, so they let me stay with them. I learned the rest as I went along.
That commander, was it the devil?
No. I only met the devil later, with another band. I've been through several. Once they stop paying, or you run out of things to steal, it's best to go and try your luck elsewhere.
That's exactly what happened when they captured the devil, isn't it? The band broke up.
More or less, but I think he understands. You see? That's mercenary honor.
What honor?
Exactly. There is none.
Why were you the only one of your band who tried to save the devil?
I don't think I could sleep easy if they actually executed that old bastard. Fuck, I know the devil better than I know my own old man. And he still owes me groschen from our last trade. And I take that seriously.
How do you know Jezhek?
I think I know him from the ambush near Prague.
Who did you ambush?
His men actually ambushed us. Actually, the outcome was quite similar. They jumped us at a bend. Before we knew it, blood was spilled. They killed our whole band. I was the only one to survive.
Just you? How so?
I was so fucked up that as I cocked my crossbow, the bowstring broke off and slashed my hands.
And you still have both of them?
Saint Bibiana must have been watching over me. My gloves came off, revealing bloody gashes on my palms, like Christ himself. I reckon they had fun watching me jump around, curse and flail my arms. So they kept me. I kept that bloody bowstring for luck.
Earlier you mentioned a bunch of peasants taking up arms against Sigismund.
Aye, a bunch of villagers. But they might be onto something.
How are they trying to fight Sigismund?
Do not imagine anything too grand. Mostly they are just trying to survive. Some time ago, they raided a supply caravan heading to Sigismund's camp. Then the very same supplies turned up with the hungry families in Miskovitz. They are doing a good job. But if they keep stepping on Sigismund's toes like that, he will go after them, and soon.
We could use a band like that.
I agree. But Shiska was against it. You saw it yourself. I promised I would not look for them.
So, what are we gonna do?
Well, I'm not going to break my word. But you did not make any such promise, did you?
Do you know where to look for them?
From what I know, they mostly hang around Miskovitz. It seems they use a secret password to recognize their own.
Password? What password?
Fuck, what was it? Ah, I remember. The fox is in the henhouse.
How did you learn their secret password?
When Dry Devil's band broke up, I was looking for a company to join. Then this one time at a tavern, there was this scrawny, drunken loudmouth going on about the peasants' revolt, and shouting out the password for all to hear. Some old woman from Miskovitz slapped that lad so hard, his chin hit the table.
Right, so I'm supposed to look for a scrawny, drunken loudmouth.
We have plenty of those already. I reckon you ought to talk to the old crone. I have a feeling she might be the way to get to that. Try telling her the password and see what happens.
All right. I hope I won't get slapped too. How did you meet Dry Devil?
For the first time? Not in the best of circumstances, that's for sure. A few years ago, my company was attacked near Olomouc, and he spared nobody except for my noble master.
Wait, what was that about?
We were fighting for Margrave Jobst, and he for his brother Prokop.
Why did he let you live?
Because I shot and killed 2 of his men, and crippled 3 others, before he bashed me over the head.
And he just let you go?
Not a chance. I woke tied up with a splitting headache. Dry Devil was all fired up, betting with his men that they'd boost me up.
And what was the catch?
That fucker took me to the ramparts and said that if I piss and hit the ale pitcher down below, he'd let me go. Otherwise, he'd try to hit the ale pitcher with me. The prick.
Wow. You're quite the sharpshooter, Kubyanka.
You bet I fucking am. But you don't know shit about it.
Teach me something, then. I'll happily pay for it.
It'll take some time. But for a few groschen, I'll teach you whatever you want.
Like I'm in something.
What will you do now?
We'll give it some thought and see. Hopefully we'll know better when you come back from Liechtenstein.
Who is this Kubyanka, anyway? How long have you known each other?
We were defending a castle and hiding in the woods together. But he was always closer with the devil.
Can he be trusted?
Aye. When he's sober, that is. When he gets drunk, it's better to keep an eye on him. He's known to provoke until fists start flying. Did you see what happened when we first arrived?
You mean how they wanted to cut his throat for cheating at dice?
Aye. It's best not to play with him. You'd be better off tossing your coins straight into a pile of shit.
What should I know about the devil?
Just look at him, and you'll know everything. His face reveals it all.
I heard he's a nobleman, but he doesn't look like it.
He's the captain of Znojmo, but it's true that he doesn't care much for noble manners. He has a foul mouth, and he's anything but chivalrous in a fight.
I suppose he's not a pure, kind soul like you, eh?
Certainly not. He's as twisted as a hangman's noose. He can also be bitter and angry as a rabid dog. It's certainly better not to fuck around with him.
What draws you to him, then?
We're both different. That's our strength. I'm in charge when everything goes according to plan. When things go to shit, he takes over. It often turns bloody, but sometimes victory is more important than honor.
Aren't you worried about Catherine?
Do you think I should be?
I don't know. A lone woman in a big city needs to be careful in any case. But when you're stalking Liechtenstein, that can be really dangerous.
No one forced Catherine. She knows what she's doing, and she can take care of herself. Remember how she dealt with the guards at Trotsky? She's braver and more dangerous than half my old band.
Aye, but what if someone tries to...
Catherine sharpens her dagger every day. It's always razor sharp. Whoever tries will regret it sorely.
Come again.
I'd like to learn a new combat technique.
Are you mad? This isn't the time for it. Come back when it's light out.
Why did they want to hang you?
I reckon my face bothered them. More likely they're pissed off I'm not a hypocritical fucker like they are.
And that's a reason for execution?
Unlike the hypocrites in the League of Lords, I'm not ashamed of what I am.
I know they call you Dry Devil.
Aye. They call me a lot of things, laddie. And that's what rankles the Lords, that I'm getting rich at their expense. And that's some fucking fat loot they stole from the king.
So you're on the king's side?
I'm on the side of whoever pays me, lad. And I'll tell you one thing. I've never gone back on my word. My noble word is my oath. Unlike that of bastards like von Bergau or von Rosenborg.
Have you been at war?
Aye, I fought in Moravia, and I'm still the hetman of the royal city of Znaim. You're just a yokel, so you hardly know what's been going on in the kingdom these last few years.
You're an experienced warrior, so teach me something.
Not a damn thing, lad. Not unless you pay me well. But first, bring me some good wine.
Fine. I'll go and get some. Can we fight together?
But do I look like I have time for that now? No, I don't. Drop by when I'm at the pen.
Excuse me?
Greetings to you.
Keep your eyes on the road, you fool!
Ka! Ka! Go! Go!
You're always welcome here, noble sir.
When is the last time you buried an executed man?
Why do you care?
I want to know where he's buried. To see his grave.
To see his grave? Really? It's damned odd that you want to see that grave in particular.
What's so odd about it?
Because the last executed man I buried was a fucking sorcerer.
What?
You heard me. A sorcerer. When they arrested him, he had an arrow stuck in his head. But he kept on living. It wasn't no fresh wound. It was old, healed. The thing stuck out of his head like a tree branch.
He was no sorcerer. Just a regular fella who got in the way of an arrow.
Tell that to the village crones. Of course he was a sorcerer. Nobody can survive an arrow in the head. There's magic and witchcraft behind it. Even the priest said so. Good thing we strung him up right away. It could have turned really nasty. He'd send a plague upon us or something worse.
Ah, nonsense.
Are you trying to say our priest don't know what he's talking about? I ain't telling you shit. Now get out of here before I really lose my temper.
It's a blessing to see someone doing their job dutifully. I can see you take good care of the cemetery. I'm sure the abbot would be interested to know you're so conscientious.
Thanks, sir. You know the abbot?
Of course I do. I'm on my way to see him now. I'll tell him about your good work.
Thank you, sir. I'm sorry I was so rough with you. I've got to be careful. I'm sure you understand. There's all sorts of strange fellas lurking around here from time to time. I have to keep things in order.
I understand. But now hurry up and show me the grave.
The grave you're looking for ain't in the cemetery. Can't have witchy bastards like that lying here among decent folk.
Where can I find it then?
If it was up to me, I'd have thrown him to the wild dogs in the forest. At least then he'd be useful for something. But a sorcerer has to be buried. So I dug a hole near the big willow tree behind the cemetery wall.
All right. Thanks. That looks fresh. Oh shit! It's him! Yeah. Phew. I've got it.
Anytime. Come again. Tomorrow, perhaps. I'm sorry.
I'm looking for Pasha. Have you seen him around here?
Oh, you must be that good Samaritan, helping us out with our little matter.
Maybe. And who are you?
They call me Hare. I've been waiting here for you. Pasha had to return to the camp. He's got duties to attend to. Leadership duties. See?
I get it.
So, do you have it? Did you find the arrow?
Of course. I'll keep my promises.
All right. Show it to me.
That depends on whether you have a reward for me.
That, I don't. I was told to wait for you here, and then take you to the camp. Pasha will pay you there.
Well, that's a shame. I was thinking it was too easy. Well, let's go then, eh?
Careful.
Hey, where did you find it? I mean, where is Karel buried?
Well, if I tell you, you'll go there and get caught.
I'm not stupid. I know they're after us. I just wanted to know if he was buried proper. I don't want him lying on a dunghill somewhere. He was a good man.
Well, it's not hallowed ground, but the place is beautiful. I think you'd be satisfied.
Good. That's good. Thanks.
You were really fond of Carol, weren't you?
We all were.
What about Pasha?
Well, Pasha was too. At least I think so. He's completely different. Well, he'll definitely lead us different than what Karel did.
Every man is different, after all.
Aye, but Karel was easygoing. Always talking about how you can live well with little, how we have to be careful. Pasha jumps into everything head first. He wants a lot of coin and a lot of booze. Want to take revenge on everyone that did him wrong. Things will be different now.
Maybe Pasha won't be so bad. He just wants you all to be well off.
Well, maybe he wants too much. I think you'd rather have piles of gold, cellars full of booze, and a woman for each finger.
Bah, who wouldn't?
I'm just worried he'll get us into some mess that'll end real bad. Like the robbery, where Karel met his end. Well, it was all Pasha's plan. He kept yapping about the caravan, how it was an easy target, money and booze in the wagons. We never should have gone there. It wasn't necessary. We had plenty to eat, and to drink too, but he managed to convince poor Karel. Well, what can you do? Can't keep complaining like a little girl. Our lives are in God's hands anyway. Hey, listen, let's talk.
What's going on?
Hey, listen up. Pasha mustn't get the arrow. If you give it to him, well, you'll be killing us all. The man doesn't know when to stop. He'll drag us on raids we won't come back from.
What do you suggest?
Give me the arrow. I don't have any coin to pay you for it, but you'll be doing the right thing. You'll save a few good men from certain death.
You're the same bunch, aren't you? Why shouldn't Pasha have it?
Well, because if he gets his hands on it, he'll kill us all.
What kind of nonsense is that?
It's the truth. Pasha isn't like Karel. Karel was like an holy man. He preached like a priest. He kept talking about humility, about how we only need a little to live. He always said, an humble life can be a good life.
He sounds like a good man. A shame.
He was. Pasha, on the other hand, well, he's different. He keeps babbling about how we'll have mountains of gold just as soon as he gets his hands on the arrow, and how he'll take revenge on all those who did him wrong. Well, he's like a madman. I'm afraid he'll drag us into something that'll have us all swinging.
That's the risk of being a bandit, though. It can cost you your neck.
So it is. But I'm not going to hang just because Pasha wants his vengeance.
If I give it to you, What will you do with it?
I'll go somewhere far away and start my own gang. I don't need mountains of gold or revenge like Pasha. We'll be happy with a little and we'll have a good life. Like with Carol, and the arrow will help us.
I understand, but Pasha gave me the job. I'll only give the arrow to him.
I was worried this would happen. Look at it this way. We're all alone. Here, nobody'll hear you scream. So, either you give me the arrow, or I'll take it from you.
What power will the arrow have if you kill the messenger carrying it?
What do you mean?
Will the arrow still be magic? Or will it become cursed?
Fuck. Well, I don't know.
But I do. These things are powerful, and not to be trifled with.
Oh, shit.
Leave the arrow to Pasha. Give him a chance to show he can be a good leader.
Well, give it to him if you must. But I won't be going back to the camp. When everything goes to shit, I won't be around to see it. Godspeed.
Ka!
Oh, just a little longer.
I should eat something.
Go away. Go away.
I found your Carol. He's buried in Sedlets.
Glory to the Lord. And the arrow? Do you have it?
I do. And I'll tell you, getting it was weird. I've never done anything like it.
See? You felt it too? It's a powerful artifact, and its power will save us. Where's Hare? I left him to wait at the Devil's Den, so he'd lead you here.
I've no idea where he is. I didn't see him.
That's just like him. Can't be relied on. That young fool thinks he's got the wisdom of Solomon, but he'll come crawling back. He'll be hungry, and then I'll deal with him. But back to the task at hand. Give me the arrow.
Here it is.
That's the one. Incredible. I can feel the power. It really is the one. Lord, thank you for this gift. We'll do great things with it.
I'm glad you like it. Now, what about my reward?
Hold on, lad. We're not done yet. Back then, it was me that picked the arrow and shot it. First, it seemed like an accident. But it was the hand of God that guided me. Through this arrow, our Lord sent down incredible power to one of his flock. And now, it's my turn! Just like Carol before me, now I'll receive the blessing of our Heavenly Father.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Today, it will be you who blesses me with the arrow, friend, and we'll never go hungry again.
Wait, you want me to shoot you in the head?
Don't be afraid. No, it will endow me with great power, and then I'll lead my companions to abundance and plenty.
I'm not going to shoot you. Use your head. The Lord blessed Carol, not you. You have no idea what the arrow might do to you.
I never thought of it that way.
Keep it as a relic. That way Carol will always be with you, as well as the blessing he received.
Sacra. I reckon you're right. You're a wise man. Just like Carol was. Thanks to that arrowhead, he'll be with us in spirit forever.
Exactly.
Thanks for helping us. Here's a little something in return. And God be with you.
Thanks. And best of luck to you.